So I want to thank you all for being here again for this very important announcement. Today's announcement will not only strengthen downtown Winnipeg, but it'll make it an even better place to walk, to work, and to enjoy. So first up, I'd like to welcome the most popular premier in all of Canada, our premier, the Honourable Wab Kinew.
Yeah. Thanks, Bernie. All right, thanks, Minister Smith and Minister Wiebe, to the Mayor, to Kate Vetsky, and to all of our partners who are here today. Now, we're here to announce safer downtowns in Winnipeg and in communities across the province. And particularly, we're very proud to announce $2.2 million to help with downtown summer safety right here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. This funding includes dollars for DCSP, Downtown Winnipeg Biz, the West End Biz, the Exchange Biz, the West Broadway Biz, as well as many, many other partners. Now, downtown Winnipeg is Manitoba's downtown. And this is a place where people love to get coffee, to check out sports, to see museums, to go to restaurants, and to do so many other fun things. And in order for us to continue making downtown safer, we need to get more and more people downtown. So as part of supporting that goal, we're really happy to see all the wonderful people who are that friendly face in the community, who help our relatives and community members who need more support, but are also there for everyone else too, to be a sign of reassurance and safety, and also just a friendly place to maybe ask some questions. So we're really proud to be making this investment alongside all of our partners, including the City of Winnipeg. It's really important we work together with law enforcement and community organizations, but most importantly, to work together with you. Making downtown safer is about making sure everyone in Manitoba feels comfortable downtown, and we're happy to invest some resources to make that happen. Miigwech merci, thank you very much.
Thank you, Premier, for that very exciting announcement. I'd now like to invite our Minister of Justice up, Minister Wiebe.
Thanks, Bernadette. Thanks very much, Bernadette, and thank you to all the community folks that have showed up here, DCSP, partners in community. It's so encouraging to see so many folks that are partnering with us, interested in making a safer downtown Winnipeg and safer province. Every summer, Winnipeg's downtown comes alive with festivals, sporting events, chances to come downtown and visit our many excellent businesses. We just actually drove by the Goldeye Stadium, where we got kids watching a game right here in downtown Winnipeg, and that's what it's all about: coming downtown and ensuring that when you're here, you're feeling safe and you're feeling a part of this community. So we're so pleased to be here to announce real funding and real support for the kind of work that happens through DCSP, through the local biz organizations, and through our community partners. Today we're announcing $2.2 million in support for those organizations that support our downtown community. Organizations that ensure that everybody feels safe to come down to downtown Winnipeg and enjoy the summer season. We're providing the Downtown Community Safety Partnership $750,000 to enhance their operations, which will include new partnerships with Indigenous-led organizations like OPK and Wiggishin, groups that are doing more to help those who are in most need, but also to provide that support for everyone who's here downtown. DCSP has had a real concrete impact on our communities, and many business owners have told me that they've seen the difference it makes when DCSP is there and is visible to patrons. The Downtown Business Improvement Zone is receiving $750,000. This funding will ensure that the biz can include their partnership alongside DCSP to partner with those organizations and provide security for their business members. We're also announcing $300,000 to the West End Biz and $150,000 to the West Broadway Biz groups. And this partnership will invest more to support those businesses along Portage and Broadway, as well as the downtown proper. And finally, we're providing $250,000 right here in the Exchange District Business Improvement Zone. And this funding ensures, when we're talking about some of the places that Manitobans visit most, a Jazz Fest, a Fringe Festival, of course, and so many others, that we're providing that safety and security here as well. It's really about building on the commitment that we've made to downtown Winnipeg, and including the support that we've made to the Winnipeg Police Service. This will ensure that we've got more presence and more safety and security. Just to recap on the investment to the WPS, we've now deployed 36 officers in Winnipeg. That includes 12 officers who are part of our bail enforcement unit, and 24 units who are patrolling our streets as part of our downtown safety and retail safety plans. And it's all about making sure that the message to Manitobans is clear, that our government is focused on you, it's focused on your safety, and it's focused on making sure our communities are welcoming and safe places to be. So again, whether that means you're coming downtown for a Goldeyes game, you're coming to the Forks for Canada Day, you're visiting one of our many businesses, or you're here for one of our many festivals, we want you to do that with confidence. We want you to do that with your safety first and foremost. And we're going to do that in partnership with community, with the City of Winnipeg, and across the board to make sure that safety is our number one priority. Thank you for everyone being here, and happy summer season to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you to our Justice Minister, who's working hard each and every day to keep our community safe, and to all of our organizations that are getting that funding. That's going to be incredible for them, and we see them visible out on the street each and every day. It's now my pleasure to now welcome up our Mayor, Mayor Gillingham.
Thank you so much, Minister Smith, and Mr. Premier, thank you for your partnership. Minister Wiebe, appreciate your comments as well, and your investment in Winnipeg, in Winnipeg's downtown. Also want to recognize Kate Fensky here from the Downtown Biz, and David Pensato from the Exchange Biz, and I saw Joe Cornelson from the West End Biz over there. There we go. And to your teams as well. I do want to just say that we're talking so much about safety in the downtown, and we appreciate all the organizations who are here represented behind us and standing with us in partnership. Thank you for all the work that you do day in and day out. We see you on our streets, on our sidewalks, helping visitors, helping those that are the most vulnerable. So just a big round of applause for our teams who do great work day in and day out. Thank you very much. A little special shout out to the Enviro team as well, because I see them first thing in the morning when I come downtown. They're out cleaning our sidewalks. There we go. A little love from the Enviro team people. Cleaning our sidewalks and streets, so thank you very much. But what we have once again here is a great example of how we can do really great things in our city by working together. The City of Winnipeg, the province of Manitoba, agencies all partnering together to make sure that Winnipeg's downtown is stronger and healthier for everybody. The Premier and I and others just came from an announcement a little bit ago in Waverly West announcing it's finally the sod turning on the new Southwest Rec Centre. Again, an indication of what gets done when we work in partnership. And here we are downtown, another fast-growing community with over 1,000 new residential units permitted last year. That is a record one-year number of permits for housing in our downtown. So yes, today's announcement is about investment in making sure that those who visit the downtown feel safe and secure and have confidence, but it's also about investing for residents who are living in the downtown now and the thousands more that will be living in Winnipeg's downtown over the coming years, really taking up residence in the heart of our community. These two announcements may seem different, but they really are connected. Winnipeg is growing, we're building Winnipeg, and our communities are changing. And so we need governments and community partners always working together on practical solutions for the people of our community. And that's what today's announcement is about. And so once again, I want to express my sincere appreciation as Mayor to the province of Manitoba, to the Premier and the Justice Minister and Minister Smith as well, for stepping up with a major investment in public safety in our community. It's huge and it's sincerely appreciated. And from the city side, I'm pleased to contribute $100,000 from the Mayor's office budget to the Downtown Biz to help support the creation of the Community Safety Wayfinders program, and you'll hear more about that in a few moments. This builds on a model that has been tried and tested over the past few summers, a model that shows real impact and real promise. It will add visible, Indigenous-led safety presence in high-traffic areas downtown to help de-escalate situations, to build trust, and to connect vulnerable people with the support that they really need. It also connects directly with Winnipeg's Safety Initiative, and I want to thank Greg Burnett and the team from DCSP who do amazing work day in and day out across our downtown. Through the coordination that is the Safe Winnipeg Initiative, police, DCSP, fire, paramedics, community safety teams, the Biz Patrols and other partners share information and work in a coordinated, collaborative fashion to identify hotspots, to respond in a more coordinated way, to really provide a blanket of safety in our downtown. The goal is simple: the right people in the right place at the right time, but the key is coordination. No single government, no single agency or organization can solve these challenges alone. But when we align our efforts, when we work together as partners, then we can make a real difference, and that is what we're doing. And that's what today's announcement represents. Once again, I want to thank everybody for their commitment to our downtown, and I wish everybody a great and enjoyable summer.
Thank you, Your Worship, Gillingham. Next, I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming up our CEO of Downtown Winnipeg Biz. She knows a lot about downtown and keeping businesses downtown and also safety. So I'd like to welcome up Kate Fenske.
Thank you, Minister Smith and Premier Canoe. Minister Wiebe, Mayor Gillingham. It's been said, Greg Burnett, the DCSP team, our Downtown Biz board and staff who are here, my colleagues from other bizes, Joe, David, from West Broadway Biz as well. It really is an honor to be here today, this May, and to speak about our commitment and the true collaborative work that has been happening behind the scenes over the last few months to improve safety and well-being in our communities, our city, and our province. At the Downtown Winnipeg Biz, our work really is about promoting and caring and advocating for a vibrant downtown where businesses can thrive and where people actually choose to live, to work, invest, and to explore. Everything we do here at the Downtown Biz is about making downtown the place to be. And you can imagine that's not always an easy task. But we are championing local businesses. We are elevating the downtown experience. And we are helping shape perceptions so downtown is seen as a place full of life, energy, and opportunity. And the good news is we are seeing so much momentum, real momentum in downtown Winnipeg right now. Significant redevelopments are moving forward. You know Wayne, you know Portage Place, Marketlands, Railside at the Forks, the Métis National Heritage Centre. There's about 17 more projects that are happening right now in downtown Winnipeg. New businesses are opening in downtown Winnipeg every single month. Office vacancy rates are below the national average. And more people, as the Mayor said, are choosing to live downtown. New public spaces are creating opportunities for people to connect, to gather, and to find belonging. And of course, there's always an incredible lineup of festivals, events, programming, sports, right here in the heart of our city. And at the same time, we know that safety and public perception continues to impact people's day-to-day experiences. Everyone deserves to be safe downtown. Whether you live here, you work here, you go to school, you're visiting, you're housed or you're unhoused, everyone deserves to be safe. And when we look at what improving safety really means and what's required, Its sustained investment, its visible presence, its strong social supports, and of course, it's been mentioned here many times today, it is coordinated action from government, community organizations, and frontline partners. And today's announcement is such an important step and proof that we are moving forward. DCSP is a proven and effective model, helping resolve situations early, reducing pressure on emergency services, strengthening community connections, and connecting vulnerable individuals with culturally appropriate supports and resources. And that's why the Downtown Winnipeg Biz is also proud to partner with the province and the city to support the Community Safety Wayfinders program. It's an evolution and an expansion of the Downtown Safety Action Plan that's been led by DCSP and OPK the past 2 summers. We know that there isn't one solution to address the complex challenges downtown and across our city. But real progress requires coordinated action, as I've mentioned, and shared responsibility, and partners that are willing to work differently together. And that's something that we're experiencing right now. A thriving downtown depends on people feeling safe, confident, and connected here. And I truly believe today's announcement will make a meaningful difference. I can tell you there is a level of collaboration happening right now that I have not seen before, and that's thanks to the leadership with these organizations and these levels of government that are here today. So again, I want to thank the Premier, ministers, mayor, and all of our partners involved for their commitment, willingness to work together to do things differently in downtown Winnipeg so we can move forward in building safer neighborhoods and a safer downtown. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Kate. And as Kate said, it takes all of us working together collaboratively. And again, you know, as the mayor said, we're all coming to the table with the province, with our community partners, and this is what it truly looks like. Community leading with us walking beside. So I'd now like to welcome up a community member who is actually the general manager of Public Domain, Brendan Galley. Where's Brendan?
Hi, I'm Brendan Galley. I manage and operate Public Domain. We're a new business located at 633 Portage Avenue. We're a restaurant, bar, live music venue. If you've ever been to the Goodwill Social Club, there's some owners who were there that are now owners of this new space. We've been open since October 2024. And I'm just here to talk about a little bit what's going on in the community downtown, Winnipeg interior. But first, I also want to thank the province and the city for doing this, for businesses, for community members, and thank you for having me here to speak as well today. I don't do this professionally, so you guys all did awesome, but I'll just try my best. So yeah, first I want to say that this is a really promising first step in supporting a healthier and culturally rich downtown and interior Winnipeg. And we are a newer business, but the owners and staff are all too familiar with the neighborhood. You know, we've been working in the neighborhood for over a decade now for a lot of us, and some of us for a few years. And there's a few things that we've noticed, and we have seen the community deteriorate in the past little while. With its community health and overall safety. So it has been a challenge to serve our community. Seeing so many new faces on the street openly using drugs without care or without care for them, and ones that we no longer see that we used to see all the time. We witness vandalism weekly, have had to interfere with altercations outside our door frequently. And while we are living in this time in Winnipeg and seeing our community struggle, we know that our place at Public Domain and other businesses like us, we have a role and responsibility. We've tried to step up and really provide for folks who are struggling. And that's kind of gotten a little overwhelming for us to take on. So with this announcement, I think that the funding and support for these organizations will contribute to the workload that we're kind of carrying on. And yeah, with the DCSP, they've been really helpful. We've been calling them weekly, as well as other community organizations. I think I've also been asked here today to speak because we have been a little bit more vocal in the media. We were interviewed by the CBC and Free Press around things that have been happening. And since being more vocal, we've been really grateful to see the positive attention or reception from local government and organizations to meet our concerns. This has made a substantial difference for us in bearing the weight of what is happening, but still it persists and it will always persist. and seeing no slowing of people struggling on the street. So we are excited to see what this coordinated effort between the province, the different businesses, the city looks like to support small businesses and organizations like us. I wanted to keep it short, so that's basically the gist of it. Thanks again so much for all the work. Maybe you can come down to the bar and have a pint or a beer.
Well said.
All right, thank you so much, Brendan, for sharing that. And again, that's from a local, general manager of a business. And we're listening government. We're also partnering. We know that, the response comes from community. These organizations that are here today are doing such great, tremendous work, helping people navigate to the supports and services they need, but more importantly, helping to keep our community safe. So that concludes our announcement. I want to thank everyone for coming, especially our speakers for speaking, taking the time today. And then I'd now like to open it up to questions from the media.
Thanks, Jeff. So I don't want to speak for all of the business improvement zones and the organizations, but there's a lot of conversations right now. And it's really about being responsive to what we hear from the businesses, what we hear from the public. And it is, visible presence is really number one. So it is with us working closely with DCSP and the Community Wayfinders program. This is the evolution of the Summer Action Plan that has been funded and supported by both the province, the city, the last 2 years. And what we were seeing was DCSP and the Wayfinders were able to resolve 92% of situations on site, reducing the pressure on emergency services. So looking at that model, it's been running as a pilot for the last 2 years. This is now looking at expanding it even beyond summer, growing it so people will see more visible presence as well through ambassadors and biz patrols throughout the organizations that we want to see. And then it's also looking at some other things. Our hope is with this funding, this is funding for this year, for 2026, that we can also create some lasting impact beyond this year. And so when we look, people tell us it's some things like lighting and also making sure that our neighborhood looks like it's cared for, that it's clean, that it's taken care of. All of that has a real impact on perception of safety and how people feel in the neighborhood.
So, and again, you don't want to speak to the Are you hiring people? Like, you could talk about that. Like.
Yes, yeah. So through the Wayfinder program, absolutely. Through community partners like OPK and other community outreach organizations, there will be paid hired positions to connect with people that need supports and resources on the street, but also to check in with businesses, to see how things are going, to make sure we're really coordinated. And this goes beyond all of this. It's all levels of government here and our organizations, but also working closely with Winnipeg Police Service, with Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service. What are the things that are happening in the neighborhood, and how do we become proactive rather than always having to respond? And can we actually reduce that and shift some of the outcomes that we're seeing? That's the hope with this funding.
Speaking of shifting, this is a jump ball for any of you who want to answer this. What are the sociogeographic reasons why we've seen the locus of people causing problems or suffering? They used to be in other areas of downtown, and they shifted west to where this gentleman's business is. Why is that? And I would like somebody in government or business org to provide their thoughts. Is it sweeping people away from certain areas? Is it other reasons? This is a question.
Do you even want to take that? I can start. Okay. I'll start and then I'll just mention one thing and then pass it over to government. What we're seeing is we know it's not about moving people along. That doesn't solve the problem. So it is about more social supports, more resources. So we are seeing, I would say, good success stories with the work in DCSP this year. We're seeing some of the results in data. But the challenges are becoming that much more greater. Why? I don't know exactly why. We're hearing various things from the drug supply and things that are happening, and it's just challenging right now. And so it's really about making sure that people do have supports, the right resources when they need it, and making sure that we're working together with all of our partners to coordinate that response. We're seeing this. I was just in conversations with my counterparts from across North America. It's not just Winnipeg. It's not just Manitoba. These challenges are everywhere. And as I said, there's not one solution, but it is about working together to make sure that we can resolve this. I don't know if we have the solution in terms of 2026, but it is what we're seeing making the difference is making sure that the right resources and supports are there when people need them.
Minister, are we playing whack-a-mole?
No.
Absolutely not. What we're doing is we are getting people supported and resourced to the right kind of supports that they need. So DCSP, for instance, they also work around getting people housed, getting people connected to healthcare, primary or mental health, like all the kinds of services that maybe these folks don't typically navigate. These folks are helping to support and meet them where they're at and get them connected in.
Because I've heard you speak about it, but this ties right into this announcement. Just on open growth, how that factors into safety, what your thoughts on that are, and if this program is
What are you interested in particular about that?
how that makes visitors coming downtown feel about safety, as well as if this is tying into that or separate from that.
There's people way more progressive than me who will tell you if you want government to help downtown, you should get more people downtown. So housing, culture, arts, we're really trying to have a comprehensive approach here. Everything from the Pantages redevelopment that we're financing to the biggest drug bust in our province's history that we collaborated with WPS and the city on providing the resources for, to now having that additional layer of response. It's all part of a cohesive approach to bring people back downtown and let you know that it's safe to come and enjoy some of the great things Manitoba has to offer.
As she asked, what can you immediately do in the short term regarding open growth?
Well, we're doing recovery, law enforcement. We had the biggest drug bust in history yesterday. We're doing the harm reduction, the supervised consumption site, opening next month. And then we've got prevention as well too, which probably looks like getting a handle on the child welfare system, which has been a generational trap to trauma and homelessness. And we as a society owe it to ourselves and owe it to the kids to do better on.
La saisie de drogue, des parties prenantes commencent à dire qu'une telle saisie va aggraver la situation à des drogues plus toxiques. Peut-être quel équilibre est-ce que votre gouvernement veut avoir entre l'impact de la police et de la réhabilitation?
Ben, on voudrait une solution au défi d'addiction. Hier, on a vu un des plus importants arrêts des drogues toxiques dans le Manitoba, dans toute notre histoire. Et puis aujourd'hui, nous sommes ici pour annoncer des ressources pour appuyer la communauté. Alors, pour ceux qui vont vendre des drogues, on veut les arrêter. Ceux qui utilisent les drogues, on veut les guérir. Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of talk about it.
Yeah, do you want to talk about it? Yeah. You got the expert right here.
So as you know, we took on the exemption process. So we're going through that right now. Aboriginal Health and Wellness will be running the site. They are in hiring phase right now. So as soon as they're got their staff hired up and trained, then the site will be open. Again, it's a medical-led model. It's about moving people to the supports and services that they need, that they so desperately need. I've heard people talk about open, drug consumption in the streets, and this is why we need this open. I also want to talk about Your Way Home. Your Way Home, one of our buildings that we have, and I want to stress this to every single media outlet that's here. We are not housing any folks from encampments from Your Way Home in seniors housing. I want to be clear about that because that keeps being, disseminated from the media. No folks are going into any seniors housing that are going into housing from Your Way Home. But one of our buildings, we had 26 folks move in there that have wraparound support. So that means meals, mental health supports, addiction support. Some of these are peer, led models. They've been there, done that, so they can speak directly to them. But 16 of these 26 folks went into treatment. So this is the kind of work that, these folks are doing in Your Way Home. And again, it's moving people to the supports and services that they need. Another tool. This is another tool to keep downtown safe, to get people the supports and services that they need, and to bring people, to a community where they can play in parks, where their kids can, play soccer out. And we want that for our community. Our province, our provincial government is committed to that. Safety and security is our number one priority, whether that's in the community or in our housing.
What's the preparation that's been done to open the supervised consumption site on Indian Is security in place? Are the staff in place? I was under the impression it might not be as quick as it now appears.
Some staff have been hired, so the director has been hired. They're interviewing some peer mentors right now and clinical staff, and then once they're hired and trained up, that's when the site will open. The site's already been fitted for what's going to be there, and we're super eager to get this open because we know that people need the supports. We see people using outside, we want to get them inside connected to supports and services.
The idea of banning social media, including YouTube in the classroom, heard some of the concerns raised by teachers who feel that YouTube, under the guidance of the teacher, can be a good tool. Is there room for some give on that?
What was the last part?
Is there room for some give on that, allowing YouTube as a tool if used by teachers?
Yeah, I think teachers do amazing work to help our kids learn. EAs, everyone in the school system needs our support, and this is why we're talking about some aspects of the social media ban now, to give people time to share their opinions and talk about their perspectives. And so we certainly welcome the perspective of teachers and everyone else. It's definitely a talker. I've spoken to maybe a few classrooms since this has been in the media, and I would say every student has asked me about whether I really am banning social media. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely started some good conversations.
Would you be open to allowing YouTube if guided by teachers?
I think what I've said is what stands. So I understand a lot of folks, shout out to CBC. A lot of folks listen to The House on CBC. And so what I said on The House on CBC is we're banning social media for people under 16, but we hope that there is a back and forth with these big tech platforms. Right now they're completely unregulated. The only regulation you could argue exists for social media was stuff that was designed way back in Web 1.0 era, and it has not kept pace with AI. It has not kept pace with Google and Meta and TikTok and things like that. So there is a need for regulation that reflects the reality of how people in our society use these things. You can't have an aerospace business without following the rules. You can't have a healthcare facility without following rules. You can't run a media outlet without adhering to standards. And so why should these big tech platforms be any different? And as part of that back and forth with these tech platforms that I'm talking about, there are some things that we know are driving addiction and harmful impacts on mental health for kids. Anxiety, depression, bad body image. Probably everybody of all ages suffers from anxiety, depression, body image issues. Like, when's the last time you scrolled on social media and felt good? I don't know. Probably it's been a long time. So we would hope that these tech platforms are willing to have a back and forth. And in particular, the infinite scroll, autoplay, and the recommendation engine are some of the most addicting and damaging components of social media. So if Google or Alphabet wants to create a version of YouTube with no autoplay, with no infinite scroll, with no recommendation engine, would probably be a positive step. And that's what I said on The House. So shout out to CBC.
Barring
You got to put the CBC in your story if you're going to write on this, by the way. They're one of your customers, so it works.
barring that sort of concession, though, is that the only way the teachers would be able to use YouTube as a platform?
We're talking about it now so that people can share their perspectives. And we got to protect our kids and we got to celebrate our teachers. So let's all work together.
Province's latest
Can you tell us anything about when the navigation center at 190 Bailey might
Want to do this one? Yeah, for sure.
So we're looking at fall of next year. Hopefully, not fall of next year, sorry, this winter, November. I'm getting another project mixed up. So this winter, so that folks can get in there that need it during the winter. And again, it's going to be a pod style where folks are housed to the appropriate match to their housing. So if they're LGBTQI folks, they'll be matched to housing appropriate to them. Whether it's someone that's exiting a domestic abusive relationship and they ended up in an encampment and they need housing, we'll have housing specific for them as well. Folks that are coming out of child welfare, sometimes, they end up in encampments. So making sure that they have the right supports and housing as well. And again, it's after the Houston model, ensuring that they have supports in there, whether it's primary health care, mental health, street pathways to addiction support, and housing support, which is super important with the wraparound supports if needed. And it's about triaging folks as they come in. So again, we're hoping to have it open by November of this year so that we can get folks in there by winter time.
Just going back to the suppressed consumption side, I'd love to ask the mayor for your reaction to the word definitive opening date being announced. How does that make you feel?
Well, when we get a clear date, then we can all make sure that all the systems that are required to be in place are in place. And I think one of the things that I've expressed, and I appreciate the minister has heard me, Minister Smith has heard me on this, as is the Premier, to make sure that safety in the surrounding area is prioritized. I know that there's been a lot of dialogue between the province and Chief Bowers and the Winnipeg Police Service as well. There needs to be coordination. You see coordination here. Regarding the supervised consumption site, there needs to be good coordination. I know there's been a lot of good dialogue with our departments as well to make sure that that they are ready to handle any load that would come from that. So again, dialogue, coordination is really key to all of this being successful.
Going back on the drug bust yesterday, we heard from stakeholders that these sort of drug busts might lead to increased toxicity of drug supply. Is the city preparing for overdoses? Are you worried about any of those effects?
Like our city staff, our firefighters and paramedics are run off their feet right now with the amount of drugs on the streets, and even with the current drug supply that's out there, there's toxicity issues anyway. So kudos, credit to the Winnipeg Police Service, all the other partner police services across Canada, and other agencies that had anything to do with this significant drug bust, a record drug bust in Manitoba's history. The professionalism of the Winnipeg Police Service and their partner police services really led to this important bust. We need to hold people accountable who are pushing the drugs that are killing our community members. Enough is enough. And so these people that are arrested and charged, I want to see the full force of the law thrown at them, because this is killing our community members. It's running our emergency services off their feet, and it's absolutely making a difference in businesses. The partnership that the province of Manitoba announced with us last year around foot patrol in the Osborne Village Biz. You see the direct result of the impact of that. Police were there in partnership with the province funding and city funding. They made a difference in their foot patrol in the Osborne Village Biz. And what happened? Just a couple of days ago, your media outlets were announcing 7 new businesses opening. When it's safe in the community, investment follows. Businesses have the confidence to make the investment. And so the sooner we get rid of more of these drug traffickers and drug pushers, the better our community will be.
I have a question for the Premier regarding the drug bust.
Yeah, sure.
Premier, based on the bust, what do you think the impact's going to be on some of the more northern communities in Manitoba, considering these groups typically target these areas?
Our approach is Old Testament for the drug dealers, New Testament for the drug users. And so we have to hold people accountable. If you want to sell drugs to a kid, you're going to go to prison. If you're somebody who had a rough life and, you know, somebody put a bubble in your hand, then okay, we're going to work with you to find a path towards recovery and a second chance. So I think it's, you know, what is the alternative here when you see people say like, oh, it's going to result in toxicity or impacts like 300 kilograms of meth. Like we're not going to arrest somebody. Like that's ridiculous. You have to arrest people and hold them accountable when they cause damage in the community. And this is the primary responsibility of government, is to provide safety. And we're very happy to have a partner at the municipal level that we can work with towards making Manitoba safer. And the number one request I hear from chiefs in northern Manitoba is stop the drugs from coming up north. So we're working together on that too. Again, harm reduction and compassion and recovery for people has to be a part of this, but folks on the progressive, the left side of the spectrum need to understand that law enforcement is part of a public health approach to drugs. Mm-hmm. And so we hear that from Dr. Roussin, we hear that from the experts, and that's what we're being guided by on our provincial strategy. Yes, compassion, recovery, harm reduction for the drug user, but again, and you know, there's more sensitive terms I'm supposed to be using too if I want to be a true progressive, but you know what I mean. And yeah, throw the book at them if they're traffickers, right? So.
Quick separate topic, Premier.
Joyanne has been very, very patient. Okay, we'll do one. I'm sorry, Joyanne.
Angus Reid poll found 3 in 4 respondents are concerned with online sports betting advertisements right now, how those are regulated, what they are seeing when they're watching a game. What are your thoughts on this, especially considering we're seeing kids as young as 12 or 13 now that are placing sports bets?
So I think everyone involved in this scrum will need to disclose our vested interests when it comes to sports gambling. We as the government own, basically via BC, Play Now. And all of you as reporters sell ads and have your salaries in part paid, including the public broadcaster, by sports wagers and the online gambling companies. So we need to be conscious of the fact that this is part of our society. We don't want to see the problematic impacts of online gambling, particularly from kids. But yeah, I don't know, it's a tough problem because Play Now helps to pay for the hospitals and schools in Manitoba. So I think the way that we take action is get the black market stuff addressed first. And so you probably will see us take additional legal action against the unregulated and out of province online platforms here, because there's no argument, right? They're creating antisocial behavior in the province, but they're also not contributing to Manitoba. So that'll probably be where we take action next.
So there's a provincial bulletin out on inflation that says the province's higher rate is primarily due to property taxes and other special charges that rose 9.5% to 8.5%. It also notes sewer charges, garbage fees, and the tank that went up. Why do you think that the city to blame so much of this?
It's the Manitoba Bureau of Statistics.
Yeah. Do you share that view then? Do you think that it should happen at the city level?
I have a bill before the House right now to take the tax off of groceries that is being blocked by the PCs. The only thing the Manitoba PC should be doing right now is sitting down in their chairs so that we can pass our budget bill and take the tax off of the grocery store. We know from when we cut the gas tax in Manitoba that reducing a consumer-facing tax will bring down inflation. You saw a similar thing when Trudeau, probably nobody remembers this, but Trudeau took the GST off of some of these similar items in the last few months of his time in office, right? And you did see inflation respond. So you have a time-tested and true way of cutting inflation in Manitoba, and the PCs are blocking it. So let's get them to pass the bill right now. And again, our budget at the provincial level has to be considered in its entirety. We're taking the tax off of groceries. We're building a new emergency room at the Victoria Hospital. We're building new schools throughout the province. And we're growing the economy by doing things like investing in the Port of Churchill. And what is the rationale for holding that up?
Do you see, though, that the inflation is linked to the city, or are you saying that's an agency that's not your pushing?
Manitoba Bureau of Statistics are independent and they create their analysis. If there's political interference, the inflation rate would have been a lot lower. I mean, the fact that it's not. We don't interfere with the Manitoba Bureau of Statistics. They report what they collect and they analyze it as such, right? This is not Trump's America where the employment reports and stuff like that are subject to political oversight. That's the point that I'm trying to make. We're going to go to Zoom. Sorry. Meeting of Western Premiers. Another question over here. Let's go to Zoom.
Thank you, Premier.
There's too many demands on the...
We have Alex Lambert from the Brandon Sun. Alex, one question, one follow-up.
Thank you. This is for the Premier. Some municipalities in Westman are wanting the province to restore funding for the Assiniboine River Basin Initiative that previously helped with flooding in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and North Dakota. The funding was cut by your government when in your first year. One councillor here in Westman said that this funding is more important now than ever because of increased water speeds and uncertainty from the White House. With requests coming in, what is the province going to do with that request? Those requests are going to come through the AMM conventions.
Well, we'll always be there to see what AMM has to bring forward, just like we're always there to read the Brandon Sun and see what you bring forward each day. And the Assiniboine River was pretty high last time we spoke when I was there for the State of the Province speech about a week ago now. And yeah, we'll continue to work with everybody to make sure that we're combating floods. So high water, definitely a warning sign, but thankfully we were able to avoid some of the, I guess, more disastrous experiences that we've seen in past years in your region, like 2011. In terms of specific initiatives this year, we've had some very good discussions with Peguis and Fisher River Cree Nation about a first step towards permanent flood protection, and so hopefully we'll be able to get shovels in the ground on that this year. I'm sorry, this protocol, we usually give one follow-up to the Zoom folks. Yeah. So I don't know, Alex, if you had another follow-up there.
Yeah, my follow-up is how does the province expect municipalities who are dealing with flooding close to the border, especially with Saskatchewan and North Dakota, how does the province expect those municipalities to deal with them when there isn't funding in place currently for municipalities? Sorry, for the board that has, gets all those municipalities and different organizations together from North Dakota, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba.
Yeah, we actually provide a lot of resources to the Westman region and work closely with municipalities to ensure that we're there to respond if we do see flooding. And when we do see states of local emergency declared, we're always quick to be there to offer whatever assistance is required to combat flooding. When we're talking about the Assiniboine River, we also look at the operation of the Shellmouth Dam, the Portage River diversion, and everything that's going on upstream of Lake Manitoba as part of that deliberation. And so that sort of collaboration with that entire region from the Central Plains through Westman will continue to be an important part of our government's response to natural disasters and potential flooding in the future.
Premier, I'm sure between the Prime Minister and Premier David. Prime Minister Carney mentioned that if they can't get a deal done, he's going to be looking elsewhere. Reading the tea leaves, could that mean an expedited process for Churchill Plus? And I'm just curious your thoughts on what's going on out there in BC.
Well, with so much division in Canada these days, I just want to be a force to bring people together. When we build our nation building project in Churchill, I hope it's a big old hug to my, our friends in Alberta, and that they realize there's no point in having a referendum and that Canada's the best country in the world. Similarly, I don't want to go and unintentionally throw shade at BC because I love BC and the people who live there. And what we're saying is Manitoba right in the middle. We've got the resources, we've got the major project, we've got the infrastructure to bring all of Canada together. So yeah, hopefully Prime Minister Carney is keeping that in mind as he's on his journey west.
And just on that quickly, we heard from the federal government more funding for First Nations involvement in major projects earlier today. How is that going to tie into Churchill, and is that still a priority early on in discussions to have that First Nations involvement?
Yeah, it definitely is. And as recently as yesterday evening, we were meeting with Indigenous governments in Manitoba towards that goal. So we certainly welcome the federal government's investment. I know they already have invested some resources towards what they call capacity building, which is basically let's help ensure that First Nations and Métis communities are ready when development arrives. And so is our government. So we'll continue to work together because that's the way that we're going to build up Canada. If we want things like the Port of Churchill to happen quickly, we can't do it by being divided. We have to have everybody working in the same direction.
The Western Premiers Conference is next week.
Yes. Thank you for your patience.
Do you have any agenda items, and are you worried that it might be overshadowed by the concerns about the local separatist movements?
Number one on my agenda at the Western Premiers Conference in Alberta will be I love Canada, and I hope every premier in this country can say without equivocation they love Canada.
And the concerns about separatism, especially the Port Valley.
Yeah.
Does that risk overshadowing some of the more meat and potatoes items you
It's tough for us in Manitoba to even comprehend what's going on with the Alberta separatism question. And so my response is just, I don't know if anyone was going to complain about Canada. But I love this country, best country in the world. So whatever is going on through the separatist mindset, I'm sure we can work through it. We can move a few barrels, we can respect the environment, and we can continue building up the True North strong and free.
Get a valid scientific sample, representative sample, instead of engagement.
Well, I'm very tempted to point out the fact that online samples cannot be assigned a margin of error, and so we might go down a methodological rabbit hole, but it's fun. It's good to engage Manitobans and have the perspective. Last year we had everybody vote on the health card. That was a fun experience for people, and we ended up with a great design with the Northern Lights. Now we're doing the daylight savings time. Very soon we're going to have a survey where you'll be able to vote for your favorite park license plate design. A little facetious, yes, Bart, thank you.
We're not answering questions at estimates the other day from the opposition leader. Why are you concerned about that?
I like to have fun, the question period. Yeah, estimates as well. I like to have fun. The PCs are very dour and they're blocking you from having cheaper groceries, so I like to lighten the mood.
Because you said a few weeks back you weren't interested in reducing speed limits. I'm boring you.
Students, there's kids there, Bart.
That's sweet. Thank you so much. I better see that on your news reports. Because if you don't show that as the most interesting thing that happened, there's some reporter bias going on.
Speed limits in Brandon, Winnipeg, because you're more concerned with healthcare. How is reducing vehicle pedestrian accidents not a healthcare?
There's an opportunity cost to everything we do. So spending time in estimates is an opportunity cost towards action that we could be spent on healthcare or lowering your grocery prices.
Sorry, I'm asking about reducing speed zones in Brandon, And in Winnipeg, as this mayor, the mayor Brandon requested, as you know, it takes the province to prevent the cities, most cities, from having to put up tons of signs. Why not just make that change? Are you too concerned about the populist backlash to lower speed limits?
Well, I'm sure they are too. Otherwise, they do it themselves.
I think you heard what Priam was, that's not the case. What I was asking about.
Yeah. Ok. Est-ce que tu veux une question ou c'est pour... OK.
Sure.
Yeah, so regarding what you were saying earlier, is there any plans to see...
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm sorry, pardon, sorry, say that again?
Is there any plans to hire new police officers? And are they going to patrol the city center?
It's a good question. The question is, are we hiring new police officers to patrol the city center? So we are hiring 36 officers for this year and next year. Some of them, it's up to the chief of police where the chief deploys them. I have seen more foot patrol downtown. I know the foot patrol has been in the Exchange recently. I point to David Mazzato as the head of the Exchange biz. So we do have the Winnipeg Police Service as part of the partner of this network of public safety. Patrolling and doing foot patrol in the downtown. So yes, we're hiring more police officers. These are net new officers over this year and next year. Do you have a follow-up on that? Sorry. You good? Okay, thank you.
Is that the temporary trailer or the permanent site?
It'll be the temporary site.
Temporary, for the trailer thing?
Yes. Within the same address. So 366 Henry, the same site as the permanent will be. Yes.
Forgive me, a couple more for you here. Why did it take 30 minutes to answer a question and
Well, we want to make sure we have the right information when we're answering questions and estimates, and that's why we have a process where we have our officials around us and providing us detailed background and information. I'll just suggest that, the member, Mr. Wasiliu, he made a choice to sit as an independent, and he's made it clear about how seriously he takes his role as an MLA. And can I suggest that maybe that information wasn't coming as quickly because of the comments that he made about public officials and public servants? I wouldn't make that assumption, but I can just say that as soon as we can, we answer questions from serious members, and you can look at the record. I spend as much time as I can putting the good news of our government on the record in estimates, and I'm always happy to answer questions there or to you guys here in the media.
In the past, in estimates, if it's something's complicated or technical, I've seen cabinet ministers, BC and get back in writing later. Why not in the case like that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's different styles, different approaches. I do like to get the information right there to the members that are asking them. And when it's a serious question from a serious member and from a registered political party here in the province of Manitoba, I do everything I can to get that information. And like I said, talk about the good news about the work that we're doing here in the province.
And the police HQ inquiry has to be scaled back a bit to remain in the budget. How concerned are you it won't be as robust as well?
I've been following along in the media. Great coverage. I called out Joanne earlier, and of course yourself, Bart. I really appreciate the coverage that's been undertaken there. We got full confidence in the work that's being done, and I think most Manitobans are shocked by the information they've already seen, and I know that the report that's going to be generated is going to be comprehensive, and it's going to, I think, shed some light on obviously the mistakes that were made in the past, but what we really want is to inform how do we improve these public processes and ensure that something like this can never happen again.
How do you think the public inquiry, as you've seen so far, it's almost clear that you can't get the hearing dates, will help to ensure major products have the same problem?
Sorry, I didn't catch the first part of that.
How do you think that this will help to ensure that
Yeah, well, I'll leave that to the work of the work of the commissioner there, and he's gonna, what we're going to see is we're going to see recommendations that again highlight the mistakes that were made but we've asked specifically how we can improve processes going forward. And, you know, we've got a solid partner in the city of Winnipeg. I know they want to see this work done. Other municipalities are interested in seeing the results of this as well. So, you know, we are committed to this process, and we're excited to see it through.
Any more questions?
Prime Minister. Monsieur, sur la taxe que vous allez enlever pour les produits qu'on achète au supermarché, pourquoi vous avez inclus tous les produits qui sont soit transformés et pas transformés qui sont mauvais pour la santé?
Ben, j'encourage les Manitobains et Manitobaines de manger de nourriture nutritionnelle, mais c'est votre choix. Pour moi, le défi, c'est un défi économique. Ça, c'est la première question. Parce que ce qu'on voit dans la société et les autres enjeux, comme l'environnement, même la crime et puis le système de santé, quand on a une vie moins abordable, le focus est diminué pour ces autres enjeux. Alors, pour nous, c'est très important de guérir cette mauvaise situation où la vie est moins et moins abordable dans le Manitoba. Et puis, après ça, oui, j'espère de vous encourager d'acheter des salades et puis des autres choses. Mais le premier défi maintenant, c'est un défi économique.
Justement, parlant d'abordabilité, vous répondez quoi à Dr. Michel Desilets qui disait justement que c'est une mesure qui va nuire aux personnes qui ont un bas income, un salaire bas, et justement pour aller plus vers ces produits-là qui sont mauvais pour la santé, ça représente finalement un risque pour la communauté.
Nous vivons dans une société avec la liberté. Et puis, votre liberté, ça inclut la liberté de faire des choix avec vos argents. Si tu es riche ou si tu es pauvre. Alors, pour le gouvernement, notre défi est d'essayer de diminuer les prix chez les magasins. Et pour vous et pour votre médecin, le défi est de promouvoir votre santé. Oui, je voudrais vous encourager de manger de bonne nourriture, mais premièrement, je veux vous aider juste pour vivre. Et puis, il y a une autre perspective chez les médecins qui disait, c'est surtout sur la côté de la santé publique, mais où il dit qu'il y a plus de calories dans dans les nourritures qu'on enlève les impôts sur maintenant. Alors peut-être on pourrait faire un argument que ça va aider du monde ici, aussi.
Et aussi, on vous a vu sur une vidéo rire et japper lors d'une question de l'opposition. Qu'est-ce que vous répondez à ça? Pourquoi vous avez dit comme ça pendant la période de questions?
Mais ils ne sont pas sérieux.
Oui, mais vous répondez. Pendant que vous posez une question, vous n'approchez pas de sérieux non plus.
Oui, je sais.
Et pourquoi?
Parce qu'ils ne sont pas sérieux.
Mais ça nuit à ce que les gens méritent d'avoir une réponse sur les questions des questions aussi. C'est ça le rôle?
Non, non. Toi, tu mérites d'avoir des prix plus bas. Les conservateurs ici dans Manitoba arrêtent ça. On devrait passer le budget. Ils ne sont pas sérieux. S'ils étaient sérieux, ils passeraient le budget et puis on pourrait continuer à autre chose.
Donc il n'y a pas de place pour collaborer avec l'opposition?
Non. Ça, c'est la même opposition qui a essayé de lancer une campagne électorale sur la question de fouiller le dépotoir. Ça, c'est le même groupe de conservateurs qui essaie d'attaquer la communauté LGBTQ. Je ne suis pas d'accord avec eux. S'ils veulent changer leur approche, s'ils veulent passer le budget et puis engager dans une façon sérieuse, oui, peut-être on pourrait collaborer. Mais ils ont essayé de lancer une campagne avec de le racisme, avec de la discrimination, et ils n'ont jamais essayé de guérir cette blessure. Alors, non, je ne collabore pas avec les racistes et ceux qui n'aiment pas la communauté LGBTQ. Je voudrais passer un budget réduire les impôts sur la nourriture et puis faire des investissements dans le système de santé. Quoi? Yeah, il n'est pas sérieux. Yeah? No, no, keep going. La nourriture. No, not yet. Nothing. No news afoot. You appreciated that reference, eh? Kate did too, right on. Long-standing news fans, I guess.
Josh Getzer says that part of the Corbin Bushy case was big. He's got a resolution here that hopefully prevented that before suspect themselves whether they treat her. Your thoughts on the state by
Can I ask when he said that? I'm not familiar with it. Oh, that's on the order paper? Or he said the comment in the House?
During debates.
Okay.
Question from there.
So, what is your response to the idea that
You know, I've spent a bit of time with some members of the Colton Bushy's family, and I would encourage Mr. Ginter to apologize to them. And I would say to every Manitoba PC, you should have learned from the landfill ads and you should have learned from the anti-LGBT ads that politicians have a responsibility not to exacerbate divisions in our society. And I've said this since my first year in politics. If I have to rely on putting somebody down in our society, then I don't deserve to be elected. My one exception to that is putting down Manitoba PCs. That's it?
I think we did. We get a quick group photo.